Hi, this is Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do something totally different. I was asked by a few different people to show my plant collection, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll start over here and work my way around the room. This is an etagere shelving unit that was my grandmother's, and I repurposed, well, two of the shelves for my plant collection. Some of them are outside, so I'll show you the outside plants later, but these are my string of hearts, and I love these, and it's grown really long, and I'm probably going to cut it and propagate it. So if you're interested in seeing that, let me know, and I'll make a video showing how I do that. These are my variegated string of pearls. This is a newer plant, so the strings aren't super long yet, but I still love it just the same, even though it's a little bit newer. They're getting there. This is a weeping pencil cactus, and I should move this one outside with the other cacti, but I don't know why I didn't move it yet. I just kept it in here. These are my regular string of pearls, and as you can see, this one is also extremely long. And then down here, this is string of bananas. This was actually one stem that was a gift, and then I had cut it and propagated it. So I'm gonna need to cut this stem and propagate it as well, so I can fill in this pot and make it a little bit thicker. Again, at some point I'll do that. And then these are little zebra haworthias, little zebra plants. That one died. This is Philodendron Brazil. It was a cutting, and I keep saying that I'm going to join it in with the bigger plant, and I just haven't done that yet. There's a dead leaf. I'll get that later. For my air plants, which I'll show you later, they're super easy to take care of, but I soak them weekly. In the warmer weather. When it's cold out, I just soak them every other week. But I just have this soup tureen that I had gotten, I want to say it was some kind of like a auction place or something, but I don't know, I think I paid like a couple dollars for it, and I actually use that with spring, it has spring water inside it, and I use that to soak my air plants in. There's just some random cuttings down here. This was my Pothos Cebu Blue. It was a gorgeous plant, and I overwatered it, and it became very sad looking. So I cut off what I was able to salvage and propagated them, and I'm trying to grow the plant back. So fingers crossed it'll make it. This is a Tradescania zebrina, Tradescania nanook. This is the Tradescania nanook, and it grows like a weed, and you just have to keep chopping and propagating it. So this is some original cuttings and some of the main plant all mixed together. Here's another Philodendron Brazil, and I should just add that other cutting into it, but you know, time. Down here is one of my Sansevierias starfish. The rest of them are in another room, so I'll show you them separately. This is a sad spider plant that I had forgotten to water a few times and lost a lot of leaves. And then up here are my orchids. Get a nice view of them. So this one, sorry about the backlighting, I can't do much because of the window. This one was actually a rescue, and someone had put on the Nextdoor app, it had dropped all of its flowers and she didn't want it anymore. And people were trying to explain to her that you can cut the stem down and it'll grow a new one, but she didn't want to be bothered. So I said that I would take it, and it's rebloomed. They're beautiful blooms. I don't know why she didn't want to deal with it, but hey, her loss is my gain. This is my OG orchid. I've had this for I want to say about 6 years. My parents gave it to me for Mother's Day. It's actually growing a new leaf in here, so I'm hoping maybe it'll put out another stem and I'll have 2 flower stems. That would be really cool. This one actually just finished having flowers, so I cut it down to the next node, and hopefully in a few weeks it'll branch off and give me more flowers. And then behind it, I have 2 Hoyas. I'm gonna move this one out of the way. Okay, so this is the Hoya macrophylla, and I really have it for the foliage. It has beautiful, beautiful leaves, and they sun stress beautifully from the sun. It doesn't really have such pretty, I'm trying to show you the blooms, but everything's in the way. Okay, well down here are some blooms, if I can get it to focus. So it doesn't really give me nice blooms. It's got a million peduncles all over it, as you can see, and they're just not even pretty peduncles. And then there's the other one. But you know, they're not very full, and it drops a lot of them. It's got this whole cluster of peduncles here that it drops. This is my Hoya affinis, no ID. This was from Dreams of Hoya, and she gifted this plant to me. I believe it's a cutting from hers, and she said that we're in a race to see whose gives the first peduncle. So I actually spray it with orchid, the orchid mist to, let me get it and I'll show you. So I use this orchid plant food mist, and I spray this on my orchids and on all of my Hoyas, and it really helps them to bloom beautifully. So that's these 2 Hoyas. And then back here, that aloe is the daughter of my original aloe, and I'll show her to you. And then I have my, next to it, right there, is, that's cuttings from my Flaming Katie, Kalanchoe, Flaming Katie. Next to it is Hoya zebrina, the lifesaver cactus. And last summer it did not flower for me. The summer before it did, so I should move it outside. This is an avocado plant. I planted the seed and it grew. More cuttings from the Tradescania Nanook. And then this is another Hoya. This is the Hoya carrii. Has gorgeous heart-shaped leaves, and it's given me a beautiful peduncle that I'm hoping will have beautiful blooms. So far so good. And then this beauty here, this I grew from seed from, it looks like it might be getting too much sun. I might have to move it back. Svetlana, Firefly in the Room, gave me a seed from her euphorbia, and I'm growing this one from that. So here's one of my air plants that I was talking about earlier. This is my, sorry about that, my air plant collection, and a lot of them have had babies, and that's why I have so many. So what I do is my husband strung these globes up for me, and I have the babies from all of them in these little globes. Here's my Hoya compacta, Hoya Hindu rope, which is not politically correct to say anymore, but it has beautiful blooms and they smell like Tootsie Rolls. This is a cutting from it. That's a bloom that's on its way out, and that's one that finished blooming, but this is one of my favorite ones. And the pot was painted by Svetlana from Firefly in the Room. So hello Svetlana, if you're watching. She makes pots, and she sells them. So if you don't follow her, hit her up and order some pots from her, because she does beautiful work. Okay, on we go. I actually forgot the name of this plant, and it gave me a second leaf, and the tag faded in the sun, so I can't even tell you what it is. This is what was left of my original red clover plants. I think there's only like 2 or 3 in here. There's only the one right now. These are my Thanksgiving cacti, and they are all completely sun stressed, so that's why they're red. There's no more green, and this is a big one. And they flower in like October, November, so around Thanksgiving, and then they usually flower again for me in February. And then back here is my gorgeous mermaid cactus. This one is a true cactus, not a euphorbia, and this goes dormant in the summer, so I will not be watering her all summer. And then in the winter, I water her in the end of fall and through the winter, and she gives these beautiful, delicate white flowers. Really, really pretty. She was my most expensive plant, so one of my most prized possessions. And then down here we have my Hoya pubicalyx, and this is another one that has peduncles and starts to bloom but ends up dropping them, so I don't know what the deal is with that. And then my Hoya obovata over here, and this one blooms beautifully, usually blooms towards the end of the summer. So there's one peduncle here, and then it's got another one here, and then another one there, and then the rest of the peduncles, it's a shame, are all inside the plant and you don't get to see any of the flowers. So that part's kind of sad, but the ones that are on this stem are really cool and gorgeous. And then here's the rest of my clover plants. So I have the green iron cross and then the red clover. And I'm keeping them inside because when I kept them outside and then tried to hibernate them, it worked for a couple of years and then it stopped and it was slowly dying off. So I just figured, you know what, I'm just gonna keep it in the house and keep it year round. Here's another mermaid. This is the euphorbia though. So this is like the poor man's version of the mermaid cactus, very affordable. And then this is a jade plant that is a cutting from my dad's plant. And then I took some more cuttings from it, and I have more growing down here. And there's more growing in there. And then this is my original aloe plant. If I can get in here to show you. This is the OG aloe. I want to say I've had this for probably a good 15 years or more. It has another baby growing in there, you can see. And it's had multiple babies. It's a grandmother, probably a great-grandmother by now. I won this plant holder in a giveaway to dual planter. And unfortunately, there's no studs or anything to anchor this into the ceiling here. So my husband was worried about the weight. So I just bought some Spanish moss, which is another air plant, and have that on here so it doesn't weigh too much. And here's some more of my air plants in their bulbs. And then down here, let's see, so I showed you my air plants, and then I have just a regular philodendron heart and another spider plant. And then this is the Pilea peperomoides. I gave cuttings from this to my son's girlfriend, and I have another cutting that I'll show you in another part of the room. And then this is my Kalanchoe Flaming Katie. And sadly, this is another one that kind of grows like a weed, and then as you can see, it gets really long and leggy, and then I have to cut it off and propagate it. So it'll never be like a beautiful bushy plant, but it was given to me by a dear friend, and I will always keep the cuttings from it because she just meant so much to me. This is one of my Monstera deliciosas. This is the younger one, but it's the only one that has given me a split leaf. So I'm so happy with this, finally. And then the other one is over here. me back up so you can see it. So this is the other Philodendron deliciosa, Monstera deliciosa, and it has these beautiful big leaves, but none of them have split yet. And then I have a pothos plant here, and then Monstera adansonii here. This is another pothos. And then I tried doing leca with cuttings from the adansonii, but I haven't been too successful with it. Down here I have a neon pothos, and over here is my philodendron micans, and I propagated the bigger leaves and they just grew these little tiny ones, so I hope they get bigger because the bigger mature leaves are beautiful, but it's just giving me these little teeny tiny things. So then over here is the now I just blanked out on the names of these, Scindapsus. So here's Scindapsus. This was part of that original plant, and something must have happened to the roots. So when I repotted it, this one was all curled up. So I just put it in water. I cut off the old roots, put it in water, and now I'm trying to grow soil roots, and then I'll put it back in with the original. Here's two more Hoyas, Hoya linearis, which is super long. I probably should propagate this one also and fill in some of the pot. And then this is Hoya retusa. The Hoya retusa gives me these gorgeous little delicate white flowers. It flowers every fall for me. The linearis has not flowered for me yet. This is a Scindapsus Queen Anne, or Silvery Anne. Another pothos, not pothos, philodendron heart. This is my money tree. And then over here, let me come around this way. This was a TV stand that I repurposed into a plant stand. The bottom shelves are empty because I took all of the succulents and cacti and put them, well, most of them, and put them outside. So I'll show them to you. These are Deciduous that Dreams of Hoya gave to me, and I need to repot them. And then I'll probably keep them inside though. And then over here is my Tradescantia zebrina. They used to be called the Wandering Jew. It's not politically correct to say that anymore, so it goes by Tradescantia zebrina Purple Haze. This is my red Maranta. This is a cutting. The mother plant is actually upstairs. This is a regular green peace lily, and it does have the bloom. It's turning green now. It was white, and now it's getting ready to die off. This is the Platinum Mist version, and this is the Domino version, and the Domino is actually has two blooms. This one's on its way out, and then here's a new one that's popping up. And then this is my Begonia maculata. This is a polka dot plant that my son gave me. A plant, it's every 3 months you get a new plant, and this was the newest plant that they gave me. And then back here, the first time they gave me 4 of these lemon ferns, and they really need more humidity than what I'm able to give them, so there's a lot of browning in them. But under here I have a fern that I got from Plantarina. See if I can show it to you. And it's doing really nicely in here. This is the Fern Austral Gem, and it's really growing nicely in here. And then this is my only Alocasia, and this is the Black Velvet. It's only ever had 3 leaves for me. When a leaf dies off, then a new one grows, and it's only ever given me 3. It's a very sad begonia there. There's 2 of them. I'm not sure what to do with them. Here's a ZZ plant. that is also doing beautifully. And these only get watered like 3 or 4 times a year. Like, they don't want to be watered a lot at all. If you're an older viewer of mine, you know that I did nails, so I have my nail table here. But here's some more of my plants. I don't know what is going on with these guys. This one had flowered and was doing beautifully. This one's flowering, so pretty. African violets, I did not say the name. And I don't know what happened with this one. These are babies from I think these are grandbabies from the aloe. I've been giving them away to people. There's another one of the, they call them the friendship plant because you can just keep giving away the cuttings. And then here's another baby, the Pilea peperomoides. Here's another baby. I don't remember why. Oh, I think this one came off accidentally, so I put it on there. These are bamboo plants that my mom had given to me, and we were away and I forgot to remind someone to water them for me, and they dried out. So I ended up chopping down the stems and they regrew roots, so it's doing well. And here's another regular pothos plant. And then my beautiful ZZ Raven, another one that only gets watered maybe 3 or 4 times a year and is doing beautifully. So, so that's all of my plants that are in this room. And then, hi Zoe. Over here I have another spider plant, and then the rest of my snake plants are all in here. This guy, Sansevieria zeylanica, I actually had by my sliding door. And then see how it's like real skinny here? Well, I Googled it to find out what was happening, and it said that from cold air coming in, every time we opened and closed the door, it was blasting cold air on it, and that's why the leaves are so skinny there. So I think I'm going to cut them down and propagate them and kind of start over with it. It's got this real long leaf that's, it can't even stand up on its own, so I really should just chop it up. And then I have just a bunch of them. Some of these are from Plantarina, some are from Succulent Asia. I love the ones that have the yellow on them. They're just so beautiful. And here's another starfish, and they've all had pups, but the pups are open. I don't understand that part. My beautiful whale fin, this one died, didn't make it. I need to get rid of that too. And then here, I'll stand over here so you're not getting backlit. So they called these the mother-in-law's tongue. That was the original name for them. So those are those guys. And now I will take you outside to see my outside plants. I have another pothos here, and I have a cutting pothos here. This is where I had the other snake plant. So it was here, and then it was getting the drafts from this door. So that was not good. You coming out? Here's Oreo and Zozo. Come on. Yes? No? No? Okay. So, some of these were on that shelf, and then all the ones on the white trays were in the TV stand. These are my hens and chicks, and these stay outside year-round. Trying not to get in the shadow. I did not know that when they flowered, they die off. So all these blank spots are plants that had flowered last summer and died. So here's Aloe White Beauty, Red Moon Cactus, another cactus. The names are all on all the tags, but these guys are cuttings from my Haworthia mutica. This is, it's a pin cactus, Eve's pin cactus because it gets these little spikes on it. This is the Hoya retusa. This one also had babies. And then this is a pencil cactus. Inside I had the weeping pencil. So this is just the pencil. I only had the one cutting from that. Here's another zebra Hoya. And then this one I got as a cutting, just as a like thank you from ordering the, I got the pencil cactus with the weeping pencils, and then I think this one came with the zigzag cactus. But what's really cool is it's putting out another leaf. So I was really excited about that. So I thought I better put it outside and hopefully it'll maybe get some more. And my zigzag cactus, or rickrack cactus, whatever you want to call them, is propagating itself. And this one's putting out this big long one. So I put it outside and hopefully this will get wider, and then I'll break it off and propagate it and fill out that pot. And then all of these stems without the heads on them, they're all plants that they grew really long, and I chopped the heads off and repotted the heads. I'll show them to you. They're over there. So, and then if you leave the stems, as you can see, they start growing pups. And then when the pups are big enough, then you can take those off and propagate them. So here's more babies of the Hoya mutica. I hope you can see these. I don't know what the sun is doing. This plant, oh, here comes the train. This one, my husband got for me at Sam's Club. I don't know if you can see, there's still some paint. Zoe's licking me, it's making my arm move. It was painted this beautiful blue, bluish green, but it's really not good for these plants to be painted. So I washed it off as best I could, and it's, thankfully it's growing back despite being painted. Oh, this cactus, I was so sad I missed the blooms. It was on the shelf and it was in the back, and by the time I saw it, the blooms were already gone. So I was kind of sad about that, but there's the rest of my cacti. And these are the donkey. This is the donkey Hoyas, super donkey tail. That's the name of it. And then you propagate these by their leaves. So that's how I got these cuttings and those cuttings over there. This one came as a gift with something else that I had bought. Here's the mother plant from the Hoya mutica. And then these are the heads that I chopped off from the stems over there. And then you just stick them back in the dirt. And well, you want to use succulent, it's more like pebbles. And they reroot themselves, and then they'll grow, and then in a couple of years they'll have long stems, and then the process starts itself all over again. So hopefully you're able to see all of these. So this is my succulent and cacti collection that I'm putting outside for the summer. They do really well in the natural sunlight, and I'll probably bring a few more things out here from inside. So that's my plant collection. I hope you liked them all. Let me know if you want to see more. I'm happy to do more videos on them. And yeah, that's it. So I'll see you in the next video. Take care.